So now we're on task 6. In this task, the scenario is that you're working with a friend or a colleague on a project about wage levels for students. Wage levels for students. So students who have jobs, how much do they get paid? So according to this, Sam has provided us with a file which contains details that he's collected from some of the students about their pay. And in this task we need to produce information that shows the hourly rates of pay that students receive. So the hourly rate of pay is calculated by taking the pay and dividing it by the hours worked. And also we're going to work out what the average hourly rate, the lowest and the highest are. So we're going to do some summaries. So in this exercise we are going to look for the file first. So we need oops, we're in the wrong place. Let's go to the learner resources, go to functional skills course and Excel data file 6. And so again we've got a few different files, and we've actually got 2 that say write text and 2 that say student pay data. We've also got a picture as well. It's not going to be the picture, of course. Let's have a look at this write text. So that's just some words. That must be for another part of the task. And the same here. These 2 are the same. So it must be one of these 2. So we have data like this. This is a C. This is a special kind of file that we haven't seen before called a CSV file. We haven't looked at those. But here we have a Word file. So we're going to use that. So again, to do this properly, we need to use Excel. So we're going to copy and paste the table, and we'll take the heading as well in this case. So again, there's usually about 40 rows in these exercises, and we're going to open Excel and just paste it into there. And again, you usually have to tidy up a little bit just to make sure all the information is visible, all the headings are visible. Remember, when you're doing these, remember to put your name on things when you come to print them. Okay, so let's go back to this. What does it say? You need to produce information that shows the hourly rate of pay. So we're trying to work out how much each student gets paid per hour. So, for example, Nina gets £48 per week, but she's only working 12 hours. So how do we work out the hourly pay? Well, as it says, the hourly rate of pay is pay divided by hours worked. So we'll put hourly pay, spelled hourly wrong. So obviously, I hopefully it's obvious, we're going to have to do a calculation. So equals starts every calculation, and then now this is where a lot of people get confused with division, because you can do this in 2 ways. The instruction says hourly pay is equal to pay divided by hours worked. So does that mean we do this, or does it mean this? Hopefully you can see that the order is swapped around. And notice or remember that the slash sign is the division symbol, because there is no divide like you have on a calculator. Even the calculator on here has the slash instead of a divide sign. So actually it's a good idea to try a couple of things out here. So let's do 12 divided by 48. 0.25. Okay, 0.25. So that's 25p it would come out at. How do I clear this? There we go. Don't need these. So that was doing 12 divided by 48. Let's try 48 divided by 12. 4. So that would be £4 per hour. So do you think that Nina gets paid 25p an hour or £4 an hour? Which one seems more reasonable? So it's probably that one then. So let's close. Let's do that. £4 an hour. So all there is to do on this is to just replicate it down. And that's it. We've worked out all the hourly pay for every student. Easy. And let's just check a few of them. So this one here looks fairly easy to work out. £21, 7 hours. If you're working 7 hours for £3 an hour, that would give you £21. This one here, this one's quite easy to work out as well. 8 hours, £5 an hour, £40. Yep, 8 times 5. So I think we can be pretty confident we got this the right way round. What's the next thing to do? You also need to work out the following statistics. So average hourly rate for all the students, lowest hourly rate and highest hourly rate. So we want to find out kind of what the average is. What does that mean? It means, well, somewhere in the middle. Like if we took all the students, but then we want to get a figure that kind of gives us an idea of how much students get paid. But also it's useful to know what the highest and lowest are, so we can have what's called a range, the range of distribution. So now you might think, well, we're going to put an average here and a lowest and a highest. No, because these are functions that only give us one number, one result from a lot of information. And they're all going to be using this information actually. We're working out what the average is of all these. So just in case you're not sure what an average is when you add up all the numbers in a set of numbers and then divide by how many numbers there are. So if we had 10 numbers, then we'd add them all up and then divide it by 10, and that will give us the average. So what we really want to do is add up all these numbers and then divide it by 40, because there are 40 numbers there. You can see the count down here tells us how many we've selected. You can see there it's showing us already the sum is 176 and the average is already 41. So we already know what the answer is going to be, but we don't want to have to highlight it all the time to see the answer because it's a little bit inconvenient. So we can get the computer or we can get Excel to put it there permanently or calculate it from the figures here. So even if we change the figures here, it will change. So I'm going to put a heading and I'm going to put the other ones as well. I'll put lowest. I was going to put minimum, and you'll see why in a minute, and highest. So the average, now if you remember, we've done sum, so if you were just adding up the numbers, you would just do this. You would add them up, and it should give us an answer 176.20. But that's not what we want. That number actually is pretty useless. But a much more useful number is the average. So as you can see here, we've got sum, but we actually want to work out the average, which is £4 something, I think. So we're going to delete this and then just put the word average instead. So we're working out the average of this set of numbers, this range of numbers. And there we go, 441. Now, so that doesn't tell us what the lowest or the highest is, but it's sometimes useful to know. So I wonder if you can guess how to do this. Now you might think, I know what to do. Type in lowest, but that's not a function name. The proper function name is min, for minimum. And as you can see, it's giving us a little tip here. It says returns the smallest number in a set of values. Don't worry about what this bit means, it doesn't matter. So the set of values is the same set of values. It's the range here. So we're just going to highlight all these again. And what it will do, it will look through all of these, and in the same way as if we were going to do it, if I asked you to manually find the lowest pay, what would you do? You would start at the top. You go, okay, that's the lowest. No, that's the lowest. Not that one. So you're looking now for one that's lower than 325. Keep going, £3. Keep going, 325 now. £3 seems to be the lowest. Another £3. Another one. So there's a few that are £3, but I can't see anything lower. So I expect that will be the answer. £3. Okay. So it took us a while to do it, and if there was more numbers, it would take you a longer time, and you might miss the number. Excel won't miss. As long as you tell Excel where the start and the end of the set of numbers are, it will always find the correct answer. So if that one was min, this one must be, if you want to find out the highest, this one must be max. Minimum, maximum. And I'm not going to try and work out what the maximum is. Let's just get Excel to do it. 775. There you go. So obviously another way of doing that, or another way of checking, is if you remember what we did before, we sorted things. So let's just do that again just to show you. So if I highlight all of the data, we're not highlighting this heading though, and we're not highlighting these. This is the actual data set. So we go to sort and filter, custom sort, and then we can sort according to hourly pay. Click OK, and there you can see Jenny Lyle gets the highest pay at $7.75. She's age 20 apparently, and the lowest paid people are these ones here. All of these get £3 an hour. So what that tells us though is that the lowest and highest is doing its job correctly, or at least we've probably selected the right range of data and put the formula in correctly. So all these people get quite low pay. Okay, so that's all there is to that exercise. If we look at what evidence we need to provide, we need a printout of the information you produced, so just a straightforward printout of that, and also a printout to show the how you work them out, so the formulas. So remember, you can turn the formulas on with formula, show formula. You can see all those formulas there. But remember, you'll have to find a way to make it fit onto one page, and also Don't forget to put your name on somewhere. Your clue, header or footer. If you can't remember how to do that though, at least put it somewhere on the page. Header and footer are better, but if you're struggling, can't remember, just put it on the page. Better somewhere than not at all. And that's all there is to it. We've completed these exercises now. So hopefully you should have a good idea of how to do all the things that you need to know for the tasks that might be given to you in an exam relating to the formulas part of the Excel or the spreadsheet element. We still have to cover charts. They're a bit more complicated, but still not that difficult. They take a little bit more practice though.